there, lovely folks of YouTube. Ren here. You'll have to pardon my slight bit of frazzlement and the strange lighting situation I've got going on. I just finished work, so it's my last of 3 days in a row in the hospital, and it's a bit exhausting. I just wanted to come out on my deck and enjoy what little warm weather that I have before it gets cold and rainy again this weekend, just to get that little bit of outdoor time for Ostara. Ostara was yesterday, right smack in the middle of my 3 days of work, so I didn't really get much of a chance to celebrate. Just wanted to talk about the holiday in general, talk about something other than what's been going on. But Ostara is a tough one for me. Ostara is the one that I probably celebrate the least, simply because it's a time of year when I'm really just so busy in my garden that I don't have much to fit in with celebrating. If anything, I would say that just the work that I'm doing outside is my celebration. That's basically how I acknowledge this turn of the season, is by trying to get a slew of work done in my garden. So far I've done a bunch of weeding, I've turned my compost, I have a lot more weeding to do. I've only weeded maybe about 10% of the area that I needed to weed, so done a little bit of repotting some of my plants. I will have a video about composting and repotting coming up soon. I'm trying to get in a lot of videos now and just kind of release them gradually, because I don't know what my schedule is going to be like. Things are getting a little crazy. I said I wasn't going to talk about that. It's really hard for me to not talk about the big thing that's everybody's talking about, because I do work in the healthcare field, so I've seen some shit, y'all. That's all I'm going to say. But anyway, let's talk about Ostara. So Ostara, of course, is the equinox, the vernal equinox. Those of you who are in the southern hemisphere are actually celebrating the autumnal equinox right now. You can come back in 6 months, and then you'll be right on time with me here. But vernal equinox is the time when everything is in balance and the world kind of shifts from one type of energy to the other. Most people describe it as being a shift from the dark half of the year to the light half of the year, which is accurate because, of course, we get a lot more sun now. We're now in the time of year when the daylight hours outnumber the nighttime hours. It will gradually increase until the solstice and then gradually decrease again until the next equinox. However, there's a lot of other energies that sort of are on that little dichotomy seesaw. The way that I like to think of it best is that we're moving from introverted energy to extroverted energy. Okay? We're moving from that receptive to the projective. This is the time of year when, everything that has been kind of drawn into itself, just very reflective in on itself, is now expanding outwards and moving out and interacting with all the other things in its environment around it. So that does make it hard with the current situation that's going on, because a lot of us are going to be out of sync with the natural world for the foreseeable future. However, we can mitigate that with some ways of celebrating that don't involve getting together in groups, because I know we've had to cancel a lot of our celebrations for Ostara. A lot of people use eggs in their celebration because, again, that egg is sort of that symbolic of the new life, that new energy that's moving outwards. I like to do just a very simple egg ritual where basically I will decorate an egg with my intentions for what I want to grow in the upcoming season. You can do a sigil on it, you can just draw a picture, you can do words, whatever you like. If you want to, you can color the egg. There's a lot of egg dyeing supplies out there because of that other holiday that happens around this time of year. But color an egg with whatever color you feel best supports the work that you're doing. And then in Blue Star, our tradition typically in our grove is we'll gather all the eggs together, we'll bless them in a ritual, and then we put the eggs into running water, which in our case is usually the James River, because that's the biggest and closest source of running water to us. But you can also get the similar effects by taking your egg and burying it in the earth, somewhere where it won't be disturbed, somewhere where you're not going to be digging. If you have a garden and you bury it in your garden, make sure it's somewhere you're not going to be digging to plant any new plants, because the last thing you want to do is come back in a month and dig up a partially decomposed egg. Not fun. So, but you could also do this, like if you have a local park to you, Just find a nice sort of secluded place that won't be bothered, and you can bury your egg there. At least a good 4 to 6 inches under the ground, just so it won't get disturbed. Blessing seeds is another really big one that a lot of people do. I don't usually do seed blessings simply because I just have so many of them that I'm planting. How do I pick which ones I'm going to bless, really, is what it comes down to. It feels like favoritism for me to try and bless some seeds. But if you're only planting a couple things, you can do a really simple seed blessing. Plant the seeds, and then kind of, as you're caring for the seeds and they're growing into the plant, you're also caring for and growing your intentions that you planted into the seed. So that's another really simple way. But really the biggest thing I would say, if you really want to celebrate this turn, is to just get outside, you know? Feel that energy, feel that shift in for yourself. Get out to a park or your garden, or, you know, you don't have to be around people to do this. This is something that you can just go out on your own, go for a nice stroll somewhere where you can see the new leaves that are coming out. You can hear the bird song. You can hear the crickets that are coming out. You can hear the spring peepers if you have those in your area, because at nighttime by the water we get a lot of spring peepers. But yeah, just kind of get to see and know what's out there, and feel and experience that thing. That kind of get in the flow of what nature's doing. So anyway, you can see my husband's looking for me, so I'm going to wrap this up, and I hope this video finds you well, and happy Ostara.